All right, let's face it. If I use aura in the title, it will get views, so that's what we're going with. If I called it villains with no swag, nobody would click on the video. Now, as a villain in a movie, a show, or a game, you're supposed to have like this menacing feel towards you, right? The characters are supposed to be scared of you, but a lot of these villains I compiled today are just really goofy. They're not really scaring anybody. Okay, first we gotta talk about Team Rocket. Now, for those of you that have played Pokemon, you know that when you face a Team Rocket grunt, you're just gonna be up against like 6 Zubats. And the worst part is you gotta battle like 50 Team Rocket grunts throughout the game. And that shit is just mad boring to sit through. Like, they're not menacing in the slightest. They're just like flies buzzing around you. And in the anime, all right, the main antagonists are Team Rocket leaders Jesse and James. And they both suck. They're terrible. In every episode, they somehow end up blasting off again. They're getting beat out by a Pikachu, which is crazy. O'Hare from the Lorax. His master plan was to sell canned artificial air to people and get rid of all the trees. And anybody who slightly mentioned trees was on his op list. Like, how do you even look at this canned air and take it seriously? Nobody is buying that shit. And this dude is so short, he had to have his security guards be his little stepping stool as he was walking down out of his car. Actually, that's not a car. I don't know what the hell that is. But still, if he had no security guards, this dude would not be threatening at all. His security guards are built like O-linemen, and this dude, he's shorter than Yosemite Sam, acting like he's Big Steppin', which is crazy. And we also gotta talk about this cut. Like, what the hell is this? It actually looks like somebody took a bite out of his hair. Like, what went wrong at the barbershop that day? There's already enough air in chip bags and shit like that, so what the hell is the point of selling canned air? I don't know. And plus, say if you were to get rid of all the trees, even the canned air you sell will be garbage. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, next we got the Riddler. Now, this dude literally does everything in the form of a riddle. Now, to me, like, the entire shtick is just goofy. Like, who the hell does everything in the form of a riddle? Like, just do whatever the hell you're gonna do. At this point, you're just wasting everybody's time. Like, I'm not trying to sit through all these damn riddles, bro. Just get to the point. And I think the choice of outfit is also just ass. Like, who the hell is wearing a green onesie with a bunch of question marks on it? I mean, to me, that doesn't exactly speak menacing, but I don't know. Some of you may feel differently about it. I mean, he is really smart. I don't know how somebody comes up with all these weird ass, but if I just saw this dude in person right in front of me, I would just laugh. I don't think I'd be able to take him seriously. Vector. Now, Vector is a very interesting character, right? The best way to explain it is he's just so goofy, it's funny. Vector is just hilarious to me, but again, Vector is just not menacing in the slightest to me. But the moment I first saw Vector, all right, he was sitting in this room with Gru, applying to be a villain. And now Vector, all right, he's got a good start, okay? He's sitting in like a dark corner in this room. And then he just started doing some goofy ass walk to Gru to introduce himself. And I mean, he had something going, but I think this in itself just ruined it already. And then Vector just tries to annoy him the entire time. Like, I mean, Gru wants nothing to do with Vector, understandably. And this dude named himself after a mathematical term. Why would he pick that for his name? I don't know. And he said it was because he moves with both direction and magnitude. And after he says that, he deadass just hits an emo in the middle of the room. Like, this is the worst way to give off a menacing impression. To me, it would not sound like this dude is ready to steal the moon. But Vector is funny as hell, though, I'm not gonna lie. And he also has, like, the weirdest weapons of all time, too. Like, where does one acquire such a weapon? One of his most famous weapons, apparently, was a piranha gun. Like, who the hell even came up with this idea? Okay, next we have Kite Man? Who thought of the concept for Kite Man? Like, Batman hits a lot harder than Kite Man. Like, that just doesn't sound right. In my opinion, it just does not have a ring to it. All he really does, though, is he just has a lot of kites. That's really it. Like, he could just use that shit as a hang glider or something. I'm sure some of you watching this video probably have no clue who the hell Kite Man is. And the villain who has kites isn't exactly very memorable. It's kind of just like a dumb gimmick, in my opinion. Like, there is no way he put up a fight against Batman. Like, I just refuse to believe that. Ice King. Yeah, we already knew this one was coming. Ice King is one of the biggest simps in adventure Adventure Time. Like, this dude is not gonna hurt a fly. You can't even be scared of him. His mission throughout the entire show was to kidnap Princess Bubblegum, and that was pretty much it. He would just do the most for Bubblegum. It was just embarrassing. He wrote a whole song for her. It was just really embarrassing to watch. And as a kid, when I would watch the show, the amount of times I got secondhand embarrassment from Ice King, it's just too many to count. I had to turn my head away from the screen, bro. I couldn't even watch what was happening. Like, this dude, Ice King, should not be dropping music. He's got to get out of the studio. All right, next we have Doofenshmirtz. All right, this dude is just stupid. I don't think he has the brain capacity to be a villain. It genuinely amazes me how many times he has been fooled by Perry the Platypus. All Perry has to do is put on some goofy-ass disguise, and he has him fooled. Like, one of his master plans was to deadass dig a hole to China. Like, that's some shit I would want to do when I was like 6. Like, I would try to dig a big-ass hole with a little mini plastic shovel, and it just didn't work. And he, like, never thought shit through. Like, obviously, if you dig through the center of the earth, you're gonna get to a point where you're trying to dig through magma. Next, we gotta talk about Mal. I guess he's a personality from the character Mike in Total Drama All-Stars. So one of the contestants called Mike has DID. And when somebody has DID, they usually have like 2 or more personalities or alters or whatever people call them. And one of the alters was this menace named Mal. Now, Mal had absolutely no aura at all. Just because he destroyed some of the contestants' stuff and he just flipped his hair in front of his face, now all of a sudden he's the greatest villain of all time and he's just gonna win the $1 million at the end. But in the end of season 4, Mike got rid of Mal for good, so that didn't end up happening. But what this dude Mal was trying to do was every single instance possible, do the most to try to like injure the contestant and try to get them eliminated. He had this dude Cameron in a full body cast and also in like a little hamster ball. They had to roll him around because he decided to drop a bunch of rocks on top of him when he was stuck in a hole. And it's not like Mal was forward that he had taken over Mike's brain. He was just pretending to be Mike the entire time. So him hiding it to begin with is just a crazy loss of aura points right there. All right, next we have Mojo Jojo. Now, out of all of these, okay, I think he was the most successful because sometimes he actually did manage to defeat the Powerpuff Girls, but a lot of times, though, it just backfired. He had the entire plan in motion, and then he just fumbled at the end. One example specifically, in an episode, he was making like this gold wrecking ball, right? Because he wanted to destroy Townsville once and for all. And then after it didn't work, he went to go see what the problem was. And then he himself ended up getting stuck on the wrecking ball. Like, how do you fuck up that bad? It's like he's blowing a 3-1 lead like the Warriors. Like, that's how bad the fumble was. And the fact that he's a monkey that's not even like 2 feet tall, if he had like none of his crazy inventions, he would be nothing. Nobody would be afraid of him. To be honest with you, he's probably somehow shorter than that O'Hare dude. Okay, next we have Dr. Eggman. Okay, let's start with the name first of all. Eggman? Like, again, that just doesn't sound very threatening. Literally anything besides Eggman. Like Dr. Doom. Doctor, like, you gotta make it sound devious. Is it because he's built like an egg? I don't know. Right now, it's not really making much sense. For those of you that don't really know that much about Sonic, apparently Dr. Eggman is a mad scientist with an IQ of over 300. But Eggman's entire backstory is that he dedicated his entire life, his entire time on this planet, trying to rule the whole Sonic universe. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really play Sonic that much. I mean, I played some games. That was really it. But I played enough to know that Dr. Eggman has 0 aura. Like, how do you even walk with this type of build? Like, how do his legs even support all that body weight? I don't know. But, I mean, he's pretty much like Bowser. Like, he just always hatches some kind of evil plan in every game. And then he just somehow makes a comeback even though he got defeated like 20 times already. Okay, next we have Lotso from Toy Story 3. I'm sure some of you knew this was coming, but Lotso is a pink teddy bear. That is a nice little strawberry aroma to him. I guess his lore is that he was abandoned, and when he was abandoned, he started his villain arc. That's when it began. That's when he wanted to destroy all the toys. And Lotso was the leader of like this daycare that they were all in. And the kids there were menaces. They were like, no, David. They would like rip the toys apart and shit. So they wanted to escape. escape. And when Lotso saw them trying to escape and have a better life outside the daycare, and he was heated. So what he decided to do was just crash out and destroy a bunch of the toys in the daycare. Woody, Buzz, and all them, they try to save them, and in the end, they do. But this dude ended up just getting tied to the front of a garbage truck, and that was it for Lotso. We never saw him again. But yeah, next we got Mr. Crocker. And basically, all that Mr. Crocker is, alright, he's this teacher that everybody hates in Fairly Odd Parents. No one likes him. He's just one of the biggest ops in existence. And just looking at his appearance, I don't know, he just looks like a coke addict. That's the first thing I think of when I see Mr. Crocker. But yeah, he is an op teacher by the day, and by the night, he is on the hunt for Timmy's fairies. And for those of you that never watched the show, these fairies can grant you any wish, well, with some exceptions. And Mr. Crocker wants these fairies to himself because, well, I don't know, no one likes it. So maybe he could wish to have friends or something, or for everybody to like him, I don't know. But that was his quest he was on for, I don't even know how many seasons. But honestly, Mr. Crocker is kind of like Dr. Eggman, or he's got like a really high IQ. Like, I don't know why the hell he just doesn't make like some crazy shit. Like, this dude has made so many weird ass inventions. Like, he's made a mind reading helmet. I don't even know how that's possible. I mean, at this point, if I were Timmy, I would just try to switch classes, because this dude just keeps failing it. He's one of those teachers that if you get him, you're cooked. He treats school like it's his whole life. He takes it way too seriously. And overall, I mean, he's just kind of a cornball. And he also has like the worst posture I have ever seen. Dark Vegan from Johnny Test. Okay, can we just start with the fact that this dude is a knockoff of Darth Vader? Dark Vegan is crazy. Nobody is feeling threatened by the wrath of Darth Vegan. And Darth Vegan's entire plan, his entire scheme, he wants to steal all the world's vegetation. Oh my god. Please, Dark Vegan, do not take my broccoli in the fridge. But like, when you think of villains who have aura and are like menacing, you think of Darth Vader or Thanos, for example. Then we got the Temu version of Darth Vader over here. Whenever he does pull up in these episodes from his land of vegetation or whatever the hell it is, no one fears him at all. Like, they just look at him like some big joke. But guys, this is no joke. We're talking about Dark Vegan right now. This is very serious, very urgent. But out of all these villains, who is the least aura? I'm sure some of you may be wondering. In my opinion, all right, Dark Vegan, he is a close second. I'm not gonna lie. But number one is definitely O'Hare. Like, you could just kick this dude across a football field if you really wanted to. But yeah, a lot of these characters are also some of the biggest ops in cartoons. Watch this video I made about op cartoon characters. Just click on it.